On a beautiful night in Washington, D.C., the Dodgers with a chance to win this series against the top team in the National League East. It's Game 2 in this 3-game series between the Dodgers and the Nationals. Welcome inside with Oral and Nomar. I'm Joe Davis. Alana Rizzo with us tonight as well. So the Dodgers, even with all of the injury issues, 12-6 since Kershaw last started, and that's the best record in the NL during that stretch.
And that's part of the big picture. You know, the slow start in Arizona with losing 2 out of 3, but you come here, you win the first game. And the big picture is they have caught the Giants by 2 games in the first 4 games of the second half. So you have to have that positive energy, and you've got to think the future is going to be perfect.
Part of the great stretch right now has been the veteran bats heating up, and Nomar, one of them, and Howie Kendrick has been the best hitter in baseball this month.
And that's going to be key to try to catch those Giants. And as you mentioned, Howie Kendrick was unbelievable for the month of July. He has the most hits in the major leagues. He has the highest batting average. He's currently riding 11 games hitting streak. And when I look into the veterans in this Dodger team as a whole, it's Howie Kendrick, Adrian Gonzalez, Chase Utley, Justin Turner. I'm not asking them to play over their heads. I'm asking them to just play themselves.
We'll face off with Gio Gonzalez of the Nationals. Bud Norris slides up a day to make the start for the Dodgers. First pitch from Washington, D.C. on the other side of this break. Four meetings this season between these two teams with the 8-4 win last night. You go back to the beginning of 2012, the Dodgers are 19-9 against Washington, and that's their best winning percentage against any National League opponent during that stretch. Starting lineup tonight brought to you by Honda. Dave Roberts sends out a starting 9 that he's not sent out this year. Howie Kendrick at the top for only the 7th time. Chris Taylor hits it his highest spot in the order. Then it's Turner and Gonzalez. With the left-hander on the mound, Scott Van Slyke makes the start and hits 5th. And Charlie Culberson, fresh off his call-up from AAA Oklahoma City, in there at shortstop. Corey Seager again getting the night off, although he'll be available off of the bench if Dave Roberts needs him later in this contest. There's Bud Norris ready to face the team that he faced in his first 2 starts this season. The numbers in those 2 starts not good, but this is a different guy than the guy that started the season in Atlanta.
It sure is, and I think it's a really big game for the Dodgers for this road trip. They get off to a good start here in Washington after having difficulties in Arizona scoring runs. And with Urias going tomorrow, Bud Norris needs to go deep into this game to protect the bullpen with the early turnaround and also to bolster the record in this road trip.
Well, we always talk about winning the series. That's been the mantra for this Dodgers ball club. They know it, they understand it, so if they can win it today, and then you can focus on the sweep after that.
With Bud Norris going out there, that long walk from the bullpen right now as the Nats get ready to take the field. You see your opponent out there. Your nerves have calmed down and you're ready to chewing at the bit to get to the mound, but you're going to have to wait 3 outs and hopefully some runs.
Giants will take on the Red Sox tonight. Drew Pomeranz with his first start in a Red Sox uniform. Matt Cain countering for San Francisco. In this one, it's Norris and Gio Gonzalez in game 2 of this 3-game series. Gonzalez is 30. He's out of Florida. Got off to a great start this season. Had an ERA below 2 over his first 8 starts, but since then, Nomar, in a 10-start stretch, he's 2-7 with a 7.20.
He is, but at the same time, he's really done well throughout his career versus the Dodgers. I mean, he started 4 times against them, and he's pitched 26 innings over those 4 starts and only has allowed a total of 5 earned runs. The other thing is he has not allowed a run against the Dodgers when he's pitching at home. So we'll see which Gio Gonzalez is here today. The one that's very effective against the Dodgers at home, or the one that the Nationals have seen since mid-May with an ERA over 7.
Yeah, for the Dodgers, I think they need to attack his fastball and his changeup. Those are close to 300 the league is hitting off of. The curveball has got the 3rd lowest whiff percentage in all of the big leagues, and people are only hitting 172 off of that, so you hope he doesn't have that tonight. Our closed captioning is brought to you by First 5 California. Talk, read, sing. It changes everything.
And here is the top hitter in the National League in this month of July. Howie Kendrick hitting .418 this month. And that 11-game hitting streak, which he extended with a 2-for-4 last night, is the longest active streak in the majors right now. So with the left-handed starter, Kendrick leads things off and takes strike 1 from Gonzalez. He hit .188 over his first month, battling back from a slow spring training. And then a slow start to the season as he rehabbed from those injuries. But above 300 since early May.
He is it all over the order. It's not like he's been in a rocking chair in the 2-hole. 1st, 2nd, 6th, 7th, 5th.
Same thing by position, too.
That was the versatility that the Dodgers cited in signing him, bringing him back this year for his 2nd season with the team. Turned down initially the qualifying offer and wound up signing a 2-year contract. The Dodgers are banking on that consistency to go along with the versatility. On 3-2, fouls it off.
You talk about that consistency. Howie Kendrick has been Mr. Consistent. As we look at just this month, .418 batting average, of 23 hits, the .492 on base percentage. When you just look at the beginning of April, when he struggled, as we had a look of our Coors cold hard facts there of those numbers for the month of July. But if we go to April, when he struggled, from the beginning of May to now, he's been his career around .290.
And after falling behind 0-2, he walks against Gonzalez to start the night.
Gio Gonzalez confidence is really at an all-time low, and you can see he wants the ball and he wants to attack. He doesn't want to have any time to think right there, and Howie Kendrick did a nice job just waiting him out.
So after he walks Kendrick, Chris Taylor comes up, hitting 2nd tonight. with Corey Seager having his second night in a row off. Dave Roberts said that he's feeling better today. Seager is and is at the ballpark, but he figured with the day game coming in less than 24 hours, better to give Seager back-to-back nights off to start to feel better from that stomach bug, and plans on having him in the lineup for the noon game tomorrow.
You're probably going to have him for one game or the other, so take the extra time to make sure he feels good tomorrow.
Here's an 0-1. And Taylor swings through it, 0-2.
And I bet you another factor into that decision, aside from just his health and how he's feeling, but you got a lefty on the mound in Gio Gonzalez as compared to Strasburg, a righty, on there tomorrow. So get him healthy for the righty.
Get him some rest before Strasburg. Toss him back in there against a guy that's 13-0. Yeah, we'll make the start tomorrow against Urias. Gonzalez ready for an 0-2, and time is called. Chris Taylor, first season with the Dodgers. Acquired straight out for Zach Lee in late June. Started in AAA Oklahoma City. Spent less than a week there before the Dodgers called him up. And he has been a really nice piece for Dave Roberts. Another guy that gives him great versatility.
He sure does, and you know, the bat is playing higher than what the scouting reports were from. They said, and I'll tell you what, he's got some great bat speed. Nomar, you broke down his swing yesterday, and love how quick he is to the ball.
Yeah, even with his high hands, they go straight to the ball. And we were talking about it on the pregame show, is with all the injuries that the Dodgers have had, it actually creates an opportunity for guys like Chris Taylor that didn't start on the roster. You got Zach Walters, you have Andrew Tolles, and Charlie Culberson gets recalled here to leave that impression and are going to be needed to make an impact to try to get to the postseason down the stretch.
Taylor swings and misses for strike 3. And one away in the first.
Let's take a look at the Nationals defense, brought to you by Clamato, and we're going to focus over there at third base. Rendon is back in the lineup, wasn't there yesterday. Daniel Murphy, who's over there at first, was at third. Actually made an error in the 8th inning that cost the Nats a run. Rendon is their regular third baseman. He was out with the flu a little bit yesterday. Daniel Murphy slips back over to first, where he doesn't play very often. Most of the time, he's at second.
Only his third start at first base today. The season today, as Justin Turner climbs in. Continued his hot hitting last night with 3 more hits. He's got 8 hits in the 4 games on this trip, including a pair of home runs, but he's knocked in 6. Must be something going around, huh? Between Rendon and Seager. Turner on the ground is short. Espinosa's got one to Turner and a double play. Dodgers get a leadoff walk, but the double play helps Gonzalez face the minimum. Bud Norris ready to take it for the Dodgers. His first start against the Nationals in Dodger blue, hoping for different results this time around. 3 managers in the last half century to win 300 games with 3 different teams. Did it with the Giants, with the Cubs, and with the Reds. Now in his first season here in Washington, and here's his starting lineup tonight, brought to you by Honda. Ben Revere's back at the top. Trey Turner slides down into the bottom third of the order, and Wilson Ramos, the all-star catcher, starts for the first time in this series after having yesterday off. And the Nationals will bat against Bud Norris, who's 31 years old. This is his 26th game overall this year, but only his 4th in a Dodger uniform. His first 2 outings this year came against the Nationals, and he struggled. 8 runs over 12 innings, lost both those games, but a different guy than he was in early April.
If you look at the last 8 starts he's made, and of course this is only his 4th as a Dodger, but the time period prior to that was when the Dodgers were scouting him. He's 4-1 with a 2.78. And it's mainly because he has scrapped the changeup. He's throwing more cutters, getting more ground balls. And even now with the Dodgers, this being his 4th start, the slider effectiveness is getting better because it's coming off the cutter.
Got into the hands of Revere, who flexes a soft liner to Culberson for out number 1.
If you think about the cutter, which is a short, tight right to left movement for Bud Norris, and you think about the slider, which is a little bit bigger and slower, it's kind of like somebody having a hard, tight curveball and then a big, slow curveball, but now he's doing it off the cutter.
Started throwing that cutter when he was in the bullpen in May. He was so bad as a starter in April in Atlanta that they moved him to the pen despite signing him to be part of that rotation, and started working the cutter in while he was working out of the bullpen. According to Fangraphs, it's been the most valuable cutter in baseball this year. Strike 1 on Jason Worth.
And it's getting an amazing ground ball rate, almost 67% of the time when he throws it, and it's put in play. It's hit on the ground.
And how's Fangraphs judging the fact that it's valuable? Other than we know it's changed his career, and we've said the numbers are representing how he's changed from the start of it.
Nothing in 2 on Worth, so strikes and outs are good. Hits and balls are bad, and they pour all that in and give you a number, and everybody's judged on the same number.
I'm glad he didn't ask me that question.
Over the outside corner, strike 3 on Worth, and a good start for Bud Norris.
Well, we're going to take a look at the Dodgers defense, which is brought to you by Clamato. And playing behind them, and we see Charlie Culberson in there, recalled today as Chris Hatcher goes on the DL. And we know Corey Seager feeling under the weather, getting another day, but you can see his versatility. He has 6 starts at short. And he started the season up here with the Dodgers, and been talking to him about the numerous positions he can play. He says probably the place where I feel most comfortable, where I played most of my career, is at shortstop.
And it's where he spent most of this season in AAA, playing on an everyday basis in Oklahoma City. Norris drops in a strike to Daniel Murphy, the major's leading hitter in his first season in Washington. Has totally overhauled his approach over the last year. Used to be a slap hitter, opposite field singles hitter. But during last spring training, so spring training in 2015, he started to work with New York Mets hitting coach Kevin Long on a different stance, a more aggressive approach. Started pulling more balls, started lifting more balls. And he had that great tear where it finally clicked late last season. Some people looked at it and thought it was just an aberration, but really it was the culmination of all that work that they put in over the previous several months. And he's proven this season that it was much more than an aberration.
How long does a guy have to be hot where you realize this is really a change in his career compared to just a hot streak?
The toughest job for a hitting coach is to tell a hitter an adjustment and have the hitter believe in you. And the only way they're going to believe in you is when they have success. So it could be, you know, that one day. So once they tell you an adjustment, they hold their breath and hope you have some hits that day.
Murphy goes the other way. That looks a little bit more like the old Daniel Murphy, slapping one down the left field line, and he's got a 2-out double.
Big league hitter hits a ball down the line with 2 outs. He is sniffing 2 right away as soon as he hits it, even if it's going to be bang, bang.
Because you'll be trying to get into scoring position and they'll sacrifice the out just to try to get there. But he goes down and gets that ball. And you can see the way that ball was moving in the air. He sliced it, didn't have to square it up. He had good placement.
That double makes him the National League leader, passing Corey Seager, 28th of the season. Well, Daniel Murphy's breakout season, really along with Wilson Ramos having his breakout season, has helped Washington overcome this down year from Bryce Harper. Unanimous MVP a season ago. Got out of the gates in a hurry this year, was the National League Player of the Month in April, but has not been very good since.
A little different order to go through today, too, with Lobaton not in there because Ramos is back in there after catching the 18-inning game, so he was resting yesterday. Lobaton was down deeper in the order, but now you've got a hot bat behind Bryce Harper. You can't just automatically walk Bryce, even though he's slumping. You have to face that guy who's been swinging a very good bat.
Murphy at second with 2 away. Norris with a 1-0. That's low on Harper. 2 balls and no strikes.
We talk about Bryce Harper's struggles, and you look at his average being 248 this year. The numbers, home runs are down compared to they were last year. But at the same time, look at it from runners in scoring position. He's about a 293. But then you got Wilson Ramos right behind him at a 364.
Norris will be careful here on 2-0. Little bit in. 3 balls and no strikes on Harper, who has walked more than anybody in the National League this year. And included a series at Wrigley Field in early May, a 4-game series where Bryce Harper walked 13 times in 19 plate appearances. Included a 6-walk game where Joe Maddon basically said this guy's not going to beat us. And some have argued that that is what threw him off. He's kind of lost his handle on when pitchers are trying to attack him and when they're pitching around him.
Yeah, going into that series against the Cubs, yes, the walk set him back, but he was already starting to swing the bat poorly, and so that might have just forced him into some more bad habits because he wanted to hit so badly and he was being walked so much.
See what Norris does to him on 3-1. High drive down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. Fair ball and a home run for Bryce Harper. An absolute monster shot to make it 2-0.
About the struggles of Bryce Harper. We're talking about that he still leads the league in walks. We talked about when the Cubs walked him that many times because this is what he can do. And he works the count to get to a 3-1 count. What was noticeable even before that pitch, he got 3-0, he got 2-0 in the hitter's count, and they had to make a pitch, perfect pitch to get it, and he got it 3-0. Was trying to paint on him, wasn't giving in. And 3-0, he throws him a breaking ball. So it wasn't 3-0, here comes the fastball. 3-0, I don't care, here comes the breaking ball. And then he gets 3-1 and then gets the fastball and hits it a mile. Almost hits it out of the stadium.
Yeah, Wilson Ramos takes a strike. 451 feet, sound right?
Sounds short.
Yeah. That's what Statcast measured it at, 451.
Just a little bit left of that.
Now Ramos calls a base hit into center. So that's 3 consecutive hits against Norris after he retired the first 2 in this inning.
long way to go in the game, and as a starting pitcher, you just have to put it behind you and get squared away. Yasmani Grandal, I'm sure, is talking about secondary stuff already. Let's just get out of this inning, then we'll get back to the scouting report later.
And so up comes Anthony Rendon for his first at-bat since Saturday, as he's dealt with the illness. This Sunday's 18-inning game, and then missed the opener yesterday. Strike one on Rendon. Former Silver Slugger, was top 5 in the MVP voting just 2 years ago. And then last year derailed because of injuries. Dealt with an oblique injury and a knee injury. It was a below average offensive player. Here's an 0-1. Outside, ball 1. Bud Norris pitching back in the area that he had the best year of his career 2 years ago with the Baltimore Orioles when he won 15 games and helped Baltimore into the postseason. Made it all the way to the ALCS that year. He started last season with Baltimore, but battled through a severe case of bronchitis early in the season. Lost about 20 pounds, missed most of the month of May. And the Orioles wound up releasing him in early August. Latched down with the Padres to finish the season. Started this year with Atlanta. The Dodgers got him prior to the All-Star break. So this is his 4th team in his last calendar year.
He's had a lot to deal with. The best thing that's happened to him with those 4 teams is when he scrapped the changeup and added the cutter. He really has a renewed sense that he is a very effective big league pitcher.
On 2-1. Rendon shoots a base hit to right. And that's 4 consecutive hits for the Nationals with 2 outs.
Talked about earlier that it's a big outing for Dave Roberts and Bud Norris to go deep into this game. Julio Urias being recalled to start tomorrow and really has only thrown about 1 inning in the last few weeks. So who knows how far he can go. You're probably going to dedicate about half of the game tomorrow to the bullpen. And that's a 12 o'clock start here locally.
So far this inning, Bud Norris, the first 2 batters, does a good job getting out Ben Revere and made great pitches on Jason Worth to get him looking. And then Daniel Murphy, he just did a good job getting that ball out there with 2 strikes to left field. So you tip your hat to Daniel Murphy. And then it's when he was struggling to hit his spots, and that's when Bryce Harper, Ramos, and now Rendon get base hits.
Strike 1 on Trey Turner. Bryce Harper's 2-run homer has started the scoring here in the first inning, and given the Nationals their first lead of this series. Norris with an 0-1 and a swing and a miss, 0-2.
Get a chance to walk him off the plate here. You go breaking ball for a strike, and then you go breaking ball for a ball, but he swings at it, so he's showing that he will swing at it. So get something in that same area, walk him right off the plate, get him outside.
Norris was walking back towards the dugout, wanted strike 3 from Quinn Wolcott, instead got ball 1.
That was a very similar pitch that he got Jason Worth looking. That one, I think, didn't come back quite enough on the outer half.
Top positional prospect in the Washington system. Trey Turner tries to lay off and does. 2-2.
Great take and a great pitch. Throw that cutter right there on the edge, make it look like a fastball away. We take a look at the bat. You tell me the rule on check swings. I have no idea. It is so gray.
It's whatever the umpire feels.
Yeah.
So on that one, he'd have to ask the crew chief, Brian Gorman, down at first. The 2-2. Got him. Cruised through the first two batters, but then 4 consecutive hits, including a 451-foot homer from Bryce Harper, and the Nationals lead 2-0 after 1. And people around here on the broadcast level, and they say that might be the farthest one that he's ever hit, and that's saying something. We measured it at 451, but it seems like it was longer.
Like we talked about, we got a good view right there, camera. Just look to the left. Just look to the left. Like I said, if he goes 8 rows to the left, it's out of the stadium. The seats are what stopped it. The third row was in the way. The third deck, that was in the way of stopping that ball from going out of the stadium.
Gio Gonzalez misses high to Adrian Gonzalez, who starts his second. Middle third of the Dodger order. Gonzalez faced the minimum in the first, thanks to a double play ball. 1-1 on Adrian, who continues to have the best batting average in the National League since his off days in Pittsburgh. And pulls it directly into the shift. Trey Turner throws it out. One gone, and here's Scott Van Slyke. It's been a good trip for Van Slyke. A lot of hard contact in Arizona over the weekend. He went 4 for 8 and has boosted his average to its highest mark this season. Ball 1.
Scott really came into form coming off the DL in a hurry, and you worry about that, I think, with hitters. Like we watched Howie miss a lot of spring training. It took him a while.
Softly hit, but in a nice spot. Trey Turner, a long throw, not in time. Van Slyke beats it out for an infield single.
We saw Justin Turner have his microfracture surgery. Took him a while to get going, but Scott, missed a lot of time with the back, but all of a sudden, it was a game or two. All of a sudden, his rhythm was back, his timing was back, and he was barreling the ball up consistently. And it was really good to see because he had really worked himself in a place in his career where you were starting to think of him almost as an everyday player, that if somebody went down, you weren't going to lose anything if Scott Van Slyke had to start.
He got his speed back as well on that one, and he was hustling down the line.
So man at first with one gone, and Yasiel Puig fouls off the first pitch for strike one. Van Slyke's best season was 2014. He hit .297 that year. Led the team in slugging. And had a decent start last year, but again, injuries slowed him down.
I think Van Slyke kind of underrated as far as his speed and the way he also covers in the outfield defensively.
We laid on it, 0-2. Van Slyke with his size started in center field over the weekend. Looked just fine doing it. Pretty graceful athlete, being as big as he is.
You look at Yasiel's spray chart and then you look at his heat map of what he hits well. He hits the ball in the middle and away better than he does the ball in, and he hits the off-speed stuff better than he hits the fastball.
Breaking ball is low. Throw to second. Not in time to get Van Slyke, who springs to his feet and tests the armor of Veer. He's into third. So Van Slyke gets his first steal of the season and advances to third on the throw that gets into center.
We were just talking about the speed of Van Slyke, and he goes first move on the lefty, head down, gets a great jump. It was a breaking ball, so it was a good pitch. It was a breaking ball down and in on Yasiel, so it's tougher on the catcher to get a good throw off.
Was chatting with Chris Woodward and George Lombard, the two coaches, and talking about aggressiveness on the base path, and they're pretty much going to pat guys on the back for being aggressive even if they get thrown out. They like to put pressure on the defense. Make sure a perfect throw is the only one that can get you.
And Puig takes a breaking ball in the dirt, 3-2. It's just turned into a much different situation for him.
It has, and this is one of those times where Yasiel, where we want to see from a maturity at a hitter standpoint, where you really got to know how to shorten up your swing because the infield is back. They're giving you the run, so take it.
Got it. An elevated fastball, 2 gone.
Comes right out. We talked about that. He struggles on the fastball. You look at those charts, and he gets one up in the zone. And that's what I was just talking about. You go, okay, I need a 2-strike approach. I want to hone in on a certain area of the strike zone. I can't get too big. It's not a matter of me trying to get a hit here. It's just me about kind of almost playing pepper up the middle because that's going to get the job done.
So it's up to Grandal, who takes strike one. Yasmani hit his 13th home run of the season last night. That leads all major league catchers. It was his 6th home run this month. 1-1. Grandal, like Kendrick, had an abbreviated spring training because of some nagging injuries, and then dealt with those nagging injuries over the first month or so of the season. As he's gotten healthier, the numbers have climbed some. 1-2. He's in the best month of the season for him historically. Over the course of his 5-year career. Debuted with the Padres in 2012. Now in his 2nd season in a Dodger uniform. 2-2.
It's really interesting over the course of his career that July would be the best month, but maybe playing a lot in San Diego, the ball carries a little bit more. But with a catcher, what I think is usually early in the year is their best months offensively because they're not beat up from catching every day and getting all those nicks and scrapes and cuts back there.
Here's a 2-2. Grandal fouls it back.
I think this would be a huge hit just from a mental standpoint. I mean, back because Gio Gonzalez right now, when you talk about since mid-May his struggles, he usually has that one inning where it really collapses for him. So this is that shutdown inning that he really wants. You know, the Dodgers have an opportunity just to get one. I'm not talking about tying the game, but if they can just get this one, it might play some tricks on his psyche.
Here he comes with a 2-2. And Grandal takes it low to run it full. He was an all-star a season ago. He was hitting .295 before that early August shoulder injury. He takes ball 4. It's a good at-bat from Grandal.
You're getting closer to getting a run, and you're getting closer to turning the lineup over. Charlie Culberson just got recalled in his first at bat here back in the big leagues. He's got a pretty significant one.
Had some big hits early on. He started the season with the Dodgers. And that was sent down to AAA in mid-May. But that opening road trip of the season had some big plays against San Francisco. The numbers were decent. .259 in those 15 games before he was sent down. And he's hitting well in AAA. The average .289 on an everyday basis at short.
Remember early on in the season against the Giants where he has that go-ahead RBI, the game-winning RBI down the line. Then he goes and he makes that diving play out there in left field.
It's like at third, Grandal at first. Good opportunity against Gonzalez in the second. Ball one on Culberson. Former Giant, former Rocky. Signed with the Dodgers last offseason. On 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. And Gonzalez will be careful with Culberson, with Norris, the pitcher, due next.
But Norris hitting .222. Got an RBI this year.
His last start.
Yeah. But if he walks Charlie Culberson, if I'm Bud, I'm thinking about working a walk at first and then battling.
Down the middle with a 2-0. Strike one. While it's been mostly in the minors, this has to be considered a bounce-back year for Culberson, who missed almost all of last season with a bulging disc in his back. On 2-1. He lines one down the right field line. It's a fair ball and a base hit. Charlie Culberson with a 2-out RBI single to score Van Slyke. Welcome back to the bigs, Charlie.
Well, that's a big hit by Charlie Culberson. Does a good job getting on this top of this fastball and going the other way with it. Getting the barrel to the ball, staying on it. We were just talking about how important it is to get this run. We're not talking about tying the game here, but just to get that one run down and that shutdown inning. And not only that, now what he does, not only does he get the RBI, but now he just is able to turn the lineup over with Bud Norris. And we talked about these young guys early on coming in, where Dodgers have been dealing a lot of injuries, pitching, position players, all of that. Talk about the depth as far as it's more than a 25-man roster. Well, the expectations are for these guys not to just come in and they hope they do well, or you'll be happy if they can just play decent. No, the expectation are for them to perform at the big league level, counting on you. They got you early. You're at big league camp. You were part of the team. And the heat comes through once again.
Bud Norris. Nice hack, fouls it off, 1-1. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
Guys, Charlie Culberson was in the Oklahoma City Dodgers lineup yesterday. They were playing in Tacoma. He was taken out of the game, got on a red-eye flight from Tacoma, Washington, all the way here. Landed about 6 a.m. today, went to the hotel, got about a couple of hours of sleep. Here he is, and Artie Knight with an RBI.
What a way to ingratiate himself back into the clubhouse. With an RBI single here in the second.
Who needs sleep?
That's what I was saying. Does that make it sound like this game's easy? Because it's not that easy.
Anybody can get off a red eye,
exactly. Come in.
Yeah.
I think it shows more of what at times these guys go through.
Norris had the RBI in the win at Arizona. The first game back from the break on Friday. Has been at the corners with 2 gone here in the second. And Gonzalez loops in a curve to get it. But the Dodgers get one back on a 2-out base hit from Culberson, and it's 2-1.
Park, Dave Roberts earlier today announcing to the media a bit of an update on ace Clayton Kershaw. Said that if the back does not respond, the thought of surgery is a possibility. I want to be very clear. The Dodgers are not saying that Clayton does need back surgery. What they are saying is with back issues, if it does not respond, surgery is always a possibility. From one left-hander to another left-hander who actually did have surgery. Of course, left-hander Alex Wood underwent an arthroscopic debridement of the left elbow today. He did that this afternoon in New York City. After he begins rehab in a couple of days, expected recovery time is approximately 8 weeks. Dave Roberts said they do expect him to pitch this season. However, it will not be as a starter. He will come out of the bullpen, guys. A lot of issues going on with our starting staff.
Yeah, Alana, as Danny Espinosa gets ready to lead off this second inning for the Nationals. And it's easy to forget how good Alex Wood was before that injury came, but he was pitching some of his best baseball as a major leaguer before he went down in early June. Strike one on Espinosa.
Yeah, the debridement, when you're going to take out the floating bodies in there as you pitch, everybody gets scar tissue, you get different things that might float around. When it starts getting in the joint or getting in the way and causing problems, that's when you've got to go in there and get that stuff out of there. People have it in their shoulders, sometimes they're in their knees.
Espinosa drags a bunt foul, and it's 0-2.
In the case of Clayton Kershaw with the back is so subtle on when you know it's good or when you know it's bad. It lets you know when it stiffens up and you have pain. I hear with Clayton, there's not a lot of pain. It's shooting pain. It's just it's stiff.
Well, I also think it's also understanding the way the question was formed to Dave Roberts, the way he was asked. It was like, you know, when now that you hear this with Clayton Kershaw, do you now think that maybe there's a possibility? He says, listen, just in my experience that when you're going through this, that it's always a possibility. It's not saying that he needs it, but it's a possibility. And that now everybody goes, oh my goodness.
You could say Clayton Kershaw has a hangnail, and it's, oh my goodness. So
That's
we're
true.
talking about a back where he's already
right.
on the DL. Yeah, I know.
But when you put that in the same sentence that you say Clayton Kershaw in surgery,
Yeah.
even
people take it and run with it because it's going to draw eyeballs and ears.
Late strike 3 call from Quinn Wolcott, and Espinosa is the first out of the inning. We welcome you inside for the first time tonight. Joe, Nomar, Nor, we got a nice backdrop here, guys. It's pretty, huh?
It's good looking. An
trying to
upgrade.
make sure I don't block it.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Navigate your way around it. Bud Norris, good start to the game. Then that stretch where the Nationals got to him, but got out of that inning with no more damage, and a good start here in the second.
Well, you feel good because your team come back and get you one run, so you start to feel like that's a breath of fresh air. You feel good about how they're going to respond, and you just want to go out there and start doing the job.
And it's critical inning to come back. You know, I know everybody was like, oh, you mean the shutdown inning? Well, it's just about momentum. It's about momentum to slow down one team and also keep the momentum on your side and get this one bottom of the lineup to get them back in the dugout.
Touch 95 with a fastball there. Strike 2 on Gonzalez. 8th major league season for the California native. Originally with the Astros. They drafted him in 2006 out of Cal Poly. Nice baseball program. He was a two-way player while he was there. Really good athlete, Bud Norris is. Former high school quarterback. And in his first year at Cal Poly, he wasn't just pitching. He was playing some third and playing some outfield as well. So when you see him take those aggressive hacks at the plate, it's no mistake. And he gets Gonzalez, so back-to-back Ks to begin the second.
Get a Howie Kendrick bobblehead on Tuesday, August 9th, when the Dodgers play host to the Phillies. Kendrick's bobbleheads will be available to the first 40,000 fans in attendance, courtesy of Farmer John. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Nomar, did you ever have any bobbleheads of you that you were not a fan of, or the mold just wasn't right, didn't look like you?
I think they all.
None of them looked like you? Yeah.
No, actually, there are probably a couple where I'm like, wow, yeah, okay, I can see close, but
Nomar was
like
saying, I'm a 10, and most of my bobbleheads are 7.
I never said that. Come on. You know I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Never said 10. Maybe
Were
9
any of the
maybe 9.5. No, I'm just kidding.
But I know the faces weren't right, but was any of the hair right?
Yes, there was. I did have one where the hair was pretty good.
Pretty
Actually,
good
I
hair?
think it was better on the bobblehead.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, I wish it looked that good.
You should take your bobblehead to your hair
And
salon.
say, hey, can I get this?
Get me one like this.
How would you like it done? Well, here you go.
Here's an example.
Instead of showing pictures like in a magazine, here's
my bobblehead.
my bobblehead.
I'll have this haircut.
Ball and a strike on Ben Revere. Norris back downhill with strike 2.
Good to see going to your plastic surgeon. Can you make my face look like my bobblehead?
Oh gosh, I could use
really
that.
make this face.
Yeah, really use that.
Revere's 0 for 1. Norris got in on his hands with the cutter in the first inning. And he hit a soft liner to short. And Norris is in his first season here in Washington, struggling. 2 for his last 20 with that first inning lineout. 2-2 on Revere.
Again, Bud Norris was walking off the mound and thinking that was strike 3.
Yeah, Osmani Grandal is known for framing. I think he's framing his pitcher. He's doing such a good job making it look like a strike to him. He's walking off the mound.
Up the middle. Chris Taylor circles around it, throws Revere out. Does everything so well. Chris Taylor, 2-1 game as we go to the third. D.C. Nationals in front of the Dodgers 2-1 on a Bryce Harper home run in the first inning. Top of the LA lineup against Gio Gonzalez here in the third. Howie Kendrick fell behind 0-2 his first time and then wound up coaxing a walk against Gonzalez. Gonzalez working with good pace. 1-1. You said, Oral, though, you think it's maybe he's working this fast so he doesn't have time to think.
And it looks like they've told him that you're grinding on too much, letting the negative thoughts get in. So let's get the ball back to him and let him get on the rubber and just throw. Stop thinking, just look at the signals and let it go. It can get mental when you get in a slump. Your mechanics can get mental. Your second guessing of pitch selection can get mental. Fly by it.
A little bit low on Kendrick. 2-2.
See, as soon as he throws the ball, he starts walking backwards with his face and glove. Of course, the catcher to receive the ball, but he almost gets the ball back when he's on the rubber.
A little bit like golfers getting over the ball, not taking a practice swing, just letting it rip.
You get that pre-shoot shot routine kind of sped up.
Or don't have one.
Line it up, waggle, and go.
Yeah. Gio Gonzalez, who's a two-time All-Star, once with Oakland in 2011. That was dealt to the Nationals, and in his first year here in D.C., led the majors with 21 wins and finished third in Cy Young voting. That was behind R.A. Dickey and Clayton Kershaw. That year where Dickey came out of the middle of nowhere to win it. A couple of really good seasons for him. Struggling to the worst numbers of his career, or at least since his very first season. Kendrick making him work once again.
Wasn't it in Arizona that Howie almost saw a third of the pitches that the Dodgers saw the whole game?
Yeah.
He was fighting off and having long counts.
Winds up striking out, swinging. Gonzalez with his fourth punch out and one gone in the third. On the bottom of this inning, his hitting coach, Turner Ward, will join Alana Rizzo.
Just happened to be behind AJ.
Trying to be live in the bottom of the third. This Dodger offense third in the National League in July in runs per game, averaging a little more than 5. Ball one on Chris Taylor. He's
not really throwing his fastball for a strike. He's almost throwing it as a show pitch up and then trying to drop the changeup and the curveball in for strikes.
In the air to right, Bryce Harper is under it. 2 up and 2 down. Giants in an early hole, 3-0 Red Sox. Third inning at Fenway. Red Sox have, or the Giants have started the second half 0-4. The Dodgers, for the first time since June 12th, are closer than 5 games. Start tonight's action within 4.5 of San Francisco. Justin Turner takes a ball. Dodgers have won 12 of their last 18 games. It's tied with these Nationals for the best record in the league during that stretch. You go back one day earlier, which includes a Nationals win, and Washington has the best record in the majors during that stretch. Came on the heels of their 7-game losing streak, which included the sweep in LA. The first year under Dusty Baker. 2-1. high, strike two. Turner lines it to first, and Murphy's got it. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers in the third. Into the bottom half. Nationals up 2-1.
By hitting coach for the Dodgers, Turner Ward, and Turner, Scott Van Slyke there with the single and a stolen base. Ultimately comes around to score on the Charlie Culberson RBI single. What have you noticed from Scott Van Slyke, particularly on this road trip, hitting a lot of balls hard?
Well, no doubt. I mean, of course, at some point, just about everybody has struggled at one point this season. When you see guys struggle early when they get here, coming out of spring training, you know, it's a little bit more obvious. But watch him kind of get into his own, get some more consistent ABs, I think is the biggest key, because he's been in a role, kind of staying in that role, and now he's kind of feeling acclimated to the role.
A couple of guys that are no longer struggling, that both struggled early because of respective injuries. Justin Turner and Howie Kendrick really have turned it on offensively. What have you seen from either of them?
No doubt. I mean, Howie's done it for a long time, and he's a 290 hitter career. Good hitters hit, and when we see a guy like him struggle, you always kind of question what's going on. But, I mean, he's going to hit. He is hitting. One thing with him was just getting his contact point out front. And the same thing with JT. It's just, you know, when they struggle early, it just shows up. It's just more obvious. So them just kind of getting to their ABs, getting comfortable with his approach, and kind of just sticking with it.
You would expect a lot of your right-handed hitters to be in the lineup with Gio Gonzalez on the hill today. The best approach against their lefty?
No, it's you know, we want to be attack him early. You know, you can see now he's already going to his changeup pretty early. So now it's going to have to be about being a little bit more patient and waiting on your pitch. So because that's the type of pitcher he is, he picks a lot. You know, different parts of the plate. So now it's just kind of waiting to him get over the plate.
Appreciate your time as always, Turner. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back upstairs.
All right, Alana, it's great stuff from Turner Ward. Great insight into these approaches. So the Dodgers try to battle back from down 2-1 in the third. Jason Worth pounds one on the ground to short. Charlie Culberson, 1 out.
We're listening to Turner Ward talking about, okay, getting those ABs. These guys are going to hit. A lot of it, he's telling these guys that it's about getting your confidence back. It's about understanding who you are. Good hitters hit. Howie Kendrick, you're a 290 hitter. You're going to be that guy. Don't stress. Don't get too down on yourself when you are struggling. But it's also, you notice there's like a simplicity as he's talking to. And it's very similar to what you were talking about pitching with Gio. Like, give me the ball. Let me not think and go out there. Same thing applies to hitting. You can work on 5 different things, say, in the batting cage. But when the game comes, just think about maybe one thing, and that's it.
Daniel Murphy hits it on the ground to Gonzalez, who makes a nice play and beats him to the bag. Adrian Gonzalez, the Gold Glover, takes away a hit from Murphy for out number 2.
Well, we know the Gold Glove over there by Adrian Gonzalez, but what you don't understand, he's so big. He may not be fast on the bases, but his feet are quick. And that's what allows him to make great plays like this, get up there, make the plays himself as we have a look at our Carl's Camp replay there. Great play, Adrian.
And so now Bryce Harper, who has accounted for the Nationals scoring with a long home run his first time up. It was his 20th long ball of the season. And here he takes ball 1 from Norris. They measured it on StatCast at 451. The guy sitting next to me seemed to think that that's a little short. But it was longer than 451. Way up there. 2-0. First number 34. Said he always loved Mickey Mantle, even though obviously Mickey was way before his time. The 3 plus the 4 on Harper's uniform equals Mantle's 7. Norris has fallen behind him. And on 2-0, he gets a strike.
So a lot of those measurements are like from home plate directly, like straight line to where it is. They don't factor in that if it kept going and where it would have fallen. Because
it has to, because the fence is 335.
Yeah, but if you're up there and you add it going up, that's how far it is from home plate.
I'd like to find out how they come up with those numbers.
Harper with another missile, hooking foul.
So you wonder what that would measure. Okay, 335 right there, and if it would have kept going because it was hit so hard, check the guy's hand because I think he bruised the fan's hand right there, and you factor that in because he hit it so hard, it probably would have gone another 40, 50 feet.
There's no way he caught that with the hot dog.
Norris gets him this time. Foul tipping into the mitt for strike 3. And a nice 10-pitch inning for Bud Norris. 1, 2, 3 go the Nationals in a 2-1 game. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. Way back in 1910, William Howard Taft threw a ball from the stands at a Washington Senators game, and every president other than Jimmy Carter has done it at least once during his term since. Franklin Delano Roosevelt holds the record for the most opening day pitches. He did it 8 times, opened 8 different seasons with a ceremonial first pitch. Fourth inning back in D.C. Nationals in front of the Dodgers 2-1 on a first inning home run from Bryce Harper. Adrian Gonzalez showed bunt and grounded it foul. Gonzalez is the only left-handed hitter in this Dodger lineup tonight, and here's why. Right-handers much better success against the lefty from Florida. On the ground to first, Murphy's got it. One gone.
That at bat from Adrian, we saw something that is rare from Adrian. It's not rare for him to square around. I've seen him, especially when he's leading off an inning. They play the shift. He'll understands that his job is to get on base, especially to lead off that inning. So we'll see him try to bunt. Rarely do you see him square around, then bring it back, and then swing, almost a slash.
Here's Van Slyke. One of the two Dodger hits and the only Dodger run. Your Turner Ward tell Lana Rizzo that the biggest thing with Van Slyke has been the consistent at-bats. Still not at an everyday basis, but it's been against just about every left-hander they've faced over this recent stretch. And a high fly ball to center, sending Revere back on it to the warning track. 2 gone. Now it's Puig.
Since coming off the DL, Yasiel has hit about 300, not including the game tonight. It seems like most of his best at-bats are with nobody on base. Just a little bit more relaxed, stays within his swing.
For me, when I watch him, the last few games, seems to be reverting back to when he feels like maybe he's behind or he puts pressure on himself. It's that swing right there where he has swings underneath the ball where he tries to probably do too much with it, and his swing has a tendency to get long as compared. You see how that barrel drops and he swings underneath it. But when he's doing better, when he first came back, he was more top hand. So when he came back from the DL, it looked like he was focused on firing that top hand and taking the top hand to the ball, or trying to get the top hand and the barrel to the ball, as compared to the bottom hand trying to pull through, and that can cause the bottom of your barrel to drop and loop underneath the ball.
And if the bottom hand's doing the work, the top hand has a tendency to like collapse and go backwards.
It can lag. So you really have to have strength in both, but have strength. If you think about the top hand, it has a tendency to stay on top a little bit longer, or try to keep the barrel on top just a little bit longer.
There's a payoff, and Puig rips one towards the left field corner, and it bangs off the wall. Worth grabs the carom, and Puig cruises into second with a 2-out double.
This one he doesn't get underneath like he swung the other times. This one looks like, now that one, it was down and in, but it looked like when you even see the barrel to that ball, it had a better path than going out first away from his body and then a big huge loop to it. And there's going to be a natural downward loop on a swing. That's going to be natural, but it's not as big as it was if you cast the hands away from it.
Now Grandal with a chance to tie this game with 2 outs. Came up with 2 gone in the second and walked on his first time up. Gonzalez delivers. Grandal takes ball 1. With a home run last night, Grandal is second in the National League in on-base percentage plus slugging in the month of July. Only Jake Lamb in Arizona has better numbers in that regard. It's OPS, combining on base percentage with slugging. On this 1-0, Grandal takes it inside and jumps ahead of the count 2-0.
Charlie Culberson's base hit in his last at bat might get Yasmani Grandal a better pitch here in the 2-0 count. I don't think there'd be a lot of respect for Charlie, except that he got the RBI in the first time around.
Big bouncer. There's Trey Turner. And that's the inning. So the Dodgers strand a 2-out double. And we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning in the 2-1 game.
The 4th, and now it's time for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Most home runs among catchers this season, well, you have them both right here. Yasmani Grandal, who just grounded out to second base that last inning, and Wilson Ramos, who's coming up next for the Washington Nationals.
There's Grandal. Ramos coming to the plate like Nomar said, leading off this frame in front of Rendon and Turner against Bud Norris. Ramos has had the largest jump in batting average from last year to this year in the majors. He's an all-star for the first time here in his 7th major league season, and has dominated Bud Norris in their previous meetings, included a first-inning single. Ramos is a career .258 hitter. 2 spring trainings ago during his physical, the doctors recommended that he give LASIK surgery a try. His vision wasn't testing where it needed to. He didn't like the idea of it, so decided to give contact lenses a try instead. Fouls one off, and it's 1-1. Contacts bothered him, didn't help a ton. He only hit .229 last year. They told him the same thing this spring. You need LASIK. So he decided to do it. And here he is as the top offensive catcher in the majors this season. Max Scherzer joked around that he's made everybody here wonder if they need LASIK with the turnaround that he's had from that surgery. 2-1.
I can't imagine being a big league hitter and having that recommended to you. And all we're going to do is we're going to shave off your cornea, and then we're going to scrape it and make sure that it's really the right shape, and then we're going to put it back on your eye. It's going to help you.
Yeah, that's all.
I had it done post-career, and it did work. And it was very helpful.
He checks out Culberson at short. The first out.
I just can't imagine having it done when you're in season and in career, but Can you imagine some doctor recommending it to you?
Well, your eyes are so important to you in this game.
Right.
And then you're going, okay, well, I've made it to this level and obviously doing something right. So you believe you can see. And then they're going to tell you, why don't you try this? And it's going to help you. So I can see how it's kind of hard to really buy into it because you're thinking if it doesn't work and I can't see anymore, then my career is done.
You got to have enough continuous difficulty and feel like it's not my swing, it's not my confidence, it has to be my vision.
Right.
Anthony Rendon. Norris has retired 8 in a row since Rendon singled back in the first. Nationals had 4 consecutive hits in that first inning, but nothing outside of that. Bud Norris comes home with a 1-1 pitch. On the outside edge, 1-2. Guys in Boston, Red Sox up 7-0 at the Giants. Matt Cain pulled from that game after 2 1/3, gives up 5 runs on 6 hits. Albert Suarez has allowed 2 runs in 1/3 out of the bullpen.
Thank you, San Diego, for trading Drew Pomeranz.
Yeah.
Who started that game for Boston. It's still in there, throwing a shutout.
Rendon down swinging on strikeout number 6 for Bud Norris.
Dave Dombrowski, the general manager, president of baseball operations now in Boston, is really focusing that team for the future and this year. Trying to strengthen their bullpen and their rotation.
They just added another 8-0 out. So the Dodgers, they can come from behind, and Boston can hold on to that 8-0 lead, have a chance to get to 3.5. Trey Turner taking ball 1. Bud Norris was the response to the question, what do we do now? When Clayton Kershaw went down, front office did a great job of scrambling and coming up with a deal that could bring Norris from Atlanta. And he's helped the Dodgers since Kershaw's last start go 12-6. Remarkably, that's the best record in the National League, tied with Washington since 2-0.
I don't think anybody would predict the Dodgers would have the best record after Clayton went down. It was kind of gloom and doom for a while with the consistency. And Scott Kazmir threw the ball great last night. Threw the leg cramp, which us at the time of the broadcast thought it was his knee.
Little number back to the mound. Norris throws him out. Another 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 10 in a row since that string of 4 consecutive hits in the first. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone. It's Jack in the Box. Well, in Arizona, they have the former Diamondbacks players in mascot form run the race. And here they have the presidents run the race in D.C. Charlie Culberson leading off the 5th inning against Gio Gonzalez and taking a strike. You started to talk going to break, Orel, about Scott Kazmir last night. How worried everybody was when he left. Well, didn't leave, but finished that 5th inning after it looked like he had tweaked something in his leg. Culberson on the ground to Rendon for the first out. Wound up that it was just cramps and was able to finish 7 innings in that game. And the report afterwards was that he went into the clubhouse and had this crazy concoction that he drank in order to get back out there. So the entire training staff down in the clubhouse was throwing everything that they could think of at him. Brandon McDaniel, the strength coach, who has time as a strength coach in the military, had learned of a concoction while he was in the military, or not in the military, but as a strength coach, where you drink pickle juice. Bud Norris lining to second, out number 2. And then you take spicy mustard and you squeeze it straight out of the bottle into your mouth, and it's supposed to cure cramps. And it did in the case of Kazmir.
I've heard that same thing before. I've heard also. I think it was, and I may be mistaken with the wrong football team, but it might have been BYU, where their strength and conditioning coach made their football players drink pickle juice before games, and it reduced the amount of cramps, especially when they went places that were really hot. I've also heard about mustard, people carrying mustard packets with them as well when they get the cramps, and sucking mustard packets down to reduce the cramps. So I've heard both of those, and obviously it worked for him yesterday.
Team effort down there.
Be able to take the pickle juice and the mustard, somehow combine them chemically and come up with the cramp pill.
Well, like I said, I've heard them used separately and work, and obviously he's like, let's do them both, because if they both work at 2 different times, I guess combined, maybe it's the salt that's in there that also helps a lot. Who knows, but it works.
So the pickle juice straight out of a cup. The mustard squeezing right out of the tub. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
Kazmir was so frustrated after having such an effective outing that he was even dealing with these cramp issues that he was kind of yelling coming off of the field going into the clubhouse. He said, I was in no position to argue. He said, I was drinking everything under the sun, the things that you guys just mentioned. He just said, don't think about it. Don't ask what it is. Just take it. And it worked.
Yeah, that'd be my only chance of being able to take it down, not knowing what I was drinking. Gonzalez gets Kendrick with his most impressive inning of the night. Culberson with a soft ground out. Norris lines out, and Kendrick strikes out for the 2nd time.
Down after the rocky start in the first with the 2 runs there. Now the Dodgers only within 1 getting a run, but he is really come back into this game with location, location, location. If you're buying real estate, get it in the right spot. You're not creating any more oceans. Get oceanfront property. And oceanfront property as a pitcher is the edges of the strike zone, and that's where Bud Norris has lived since the first inning.
Now those 4 consecutive first inning hits, double from Murphy, homer from Harper, singles from Ramos and Rendon, but is retired now. 10 straight. Danny Espinosa to lead off this inning for the Nationals. Having his best offensive season. And attacking the first pitch, lifting it to right for Van Slyke. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Or when you were a pitching coach in the big leagues, were you telling them that's oceanfront property when you paint the corners? Is that the analogy you look?
Yeah,
was that just right now?
I'd have been run out of the locker room if I was using that as a pitching coach.
Wow.
He's sold out for the broadcast booth.
Because that was ocean, location, location, location.
It's not oceanfront property in Arizona.
No.
Manhattan Beach, pretty nice. I can't afford it, though. Those houses are like $10, $20 million.
Ball on Gio Gonzalez.
I think they should change the name of Manhattan Beach to L.A. Kingville. All the hockey players.
That's that area of the South Bay because that's where their practice facilities right there in El Segundo.
Right.
They don't want to take a long drive to get to practice. Smart.
Get some swinging and missing. 1-2.
That pitch was way in the ocean.
That was a
Well done. Way to bring it full circle. Gonzalez will kick sand on his way back to the dugout after strikeout number 7.
You know, in the first inning, we were worried about how far Bud Norris is going to be. Now we're worried about the offense coming back because he looks like he is really settled in. So, got a chance to give the ball to the bullpen sometime after the 7th inning would be nice with only 65 pitches so far.
After Scott Kazmir went those 7 innings last night. 2 gone. Back to the top. Ben Revere. You want to talk about bad fortune. Ben Revere here in his first season in Washington, and his very first swing of the season tweaked his oblique. It really felt it in his second at bat on opening day. Left the game, went on the DL, and spent a month on it. Makes a tailing strike. It's 1-1. They traded Drew Storen to Toronto to get him. Guy that's a .295 career hitter. That injury on opening day, and then the month on the disabled list set him so far behind, and he's sitting below .220 coming into this game. 2-1. Did you ever have a season, Omar, where you started it late and everybody else was a month into it, especially the pitchers?
Yes. Fortunately, I have. At times I spent on the DL, but I have had where I had wrist surgery on opening day, and then came back and played later that year.
2-2 on Revere.
Were you able to catch up and have a good year?
You know, I played for, I think it was about a month or so. Our team was struggling, but I also, it was hard. I probably came about just trying to get too soon. It was hard for the strength in my hand to stay to last for the rest of the season. So I shut it down like 2 or 3 weeks right before the end of the season.
Couple of times tonight we've seen Norris make his way towards the dugout thinking he'd gotten strike 3. He's been perfect since the first inning. Revere hammers the ball to deep right center field. Van Slyke back, and it's gone. Only the second of the season for the little guy. The Nationals lead 3-1.
right before the home run. We saw Bud Norris walking off, and this is why he was walking off, thinking that he got the corner, and it looks like it just missed it. He wanted that pitch, and then he misses his spot. That one was right down the middle, just a little bit up in the zone, and Ben Revere gets all of it.
He gets his 6th home run in 7 major league seasons. He's matched a career high with 2 this year. Strike 1 on Jason Worth. Ben Revere's listed at 5'9", 175 pounds. And he's homered against Bud Norris to make it a 3-1 game. Now they did 2 on Worth. All 3 runs for Washington coming off the long ball. They rely on the homer as much as any team in baseball this year. Worth has 10 homers. Worth waits on an 0-2. Breaking ball fouled off. We'll do it again. There's Harper, whose first inning homer started the scoring. He's got 20 now. Worth trying to extend a 23-game on-base streak. That's the longest active on-base streak in the majors right now. Corey Seager really close to having a longer streak. He's reached in 25 of his last 26. Norris pumps another 0-2, and Worth hammers a ball way back to left field. Kendrick back on it. That ball is gone, and the Nationals have gone back to back.
See the pitch right there, and it's down the middle, got him out front, but because it's elevated slightly, enough swing left, and this guy is the power hitter, so the mistakes go a lot further than with Ben Revere. You've got to throw it right down the middle and supply the power. That one was a breaking ball.
Bud Norris had given up only 7 home runs in 86 innings this season coming in. He's allowed 3 homers in 4 2/3 tonight. And again, it's the Nationals giving him a hard time. Daniel Murphy takes inside, and it's 1-1.
Coming into this game, the Nationals were tied for 2nd in the National League as far as home runs, most home runs by a team. Came in just 1 behind the St. Louis Cardinals, where they have 3.
Cardinals up next on the Dodgers slate. 3 games starting on Friday. 1-1 to Murphy. 2-1. Harper, Revere, and Worth have all taken Norris deep. His first 2 starts this season came against the Nationals, lost both of them, and he'll need the offense to dig him out to avoid a 3rd. Doubled on a run in the first inning and a ground out in the 3rd for Murphy. Perhaps the leading candidate for National League MVP. Roberts and Honeycutt look on. Here comes a 3-1. Missed it spot, found the zone, full count.
See more of these pitches called since the grading system for umpires is on the lasers now, not on where the catcher sets up and, oh, the pitcher hit his target, you give it a strike. So you get more of those that are strikes even though you missed your target by a mile.
Strike 3. And Murphy's retired to finish this inning on Norris's 8th K of the game. But Revere and Worth go back-to-back, and it's a 4-1 game here in D.C.
Night on Tuesday, July 26th, when the Dodgers meet the Rays. The first 40,000 fans will receive a bobblehead featuring Kenta Maeda, courtesy of San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Arrive early for special pregame performances. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers here in the 6th. Chris Taylor is 0-2 against Gio Gonzalez. 2-0. As with so many pitchers, we see this almost on a nightly basis. The more opportunities a lineup gets against Gio Gonzalez, the better success. On 2-0, strike 1. 2:15, the first trip through the lineup for opponents. But by the time you get to the third trip through, which is what the Dodgers are making right now, opponents hit 349 against Gonzalez. His 2-1. Taylor got it a bit off of the handle and floated it to center for Revere.
Dodger offense has had some frustrating nights in Arizona where they were 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position, but here tonight they're having trouble just getting somebody to scoring position. They need to start trying to build some innings, create those opportunities.
Here's Justin Turner. 0 for 2. He's hit into a double play. Hit line to first. 10 homers and 29 RBIs in his last 30 games. Both those numbers tied for the best in the National League during that stretch. Finds himself in a good count here. At 2-0. 2-1.
Pulled a string on him there with the changeup.
Guys used to face off as members of the National League East when Turner was a Met. Here's a 2-1. And it's fouled off 2-2. Gonzalez started his career as a Chicago White Sox. At least he was drafted by them, but he's been traded 4 times in his career. First, the White Sox traded him to the Phillies for Jim Thome, highly touted prospect Gonzalez was at the time. But then the White Sox got him back in a trade for Freddie Garcia just 1 year later. Eventually made his major league debut with Oakland. Went there in the Nick Swisher deal and traded to Washington prior to the 2012 season. He gets Turner swinging on another off speed for out number 1 or out number 2.
Saw Gio talking to himself right there before that last pitch, kind of convincing himself to throw that changeup for a strike.
He said he learned those motivational tactics from Dallas Braden while they were both with the A's. Braden used to shout at the ball and command the ball to do what he wanted it to. Strike one on Adrian Gonzalez. Gio thought that was a little weird, so he took the advice of using the motivational talk to yourself tactics and put it more literally, and he'll talk to himself on the mound, try to convince himself as opposed to the ball.
And for Dallas Braden, I played with both of these guys on that Oakland A's team when they were for Dallas Braden, the ball would talk back to him. That's the difference.
Yeah. Softly hit. Position well with Espinosa on the other side of the bag. The shortstop throws him out. Second straight 1-2-3 inning against the Dodgers. 4-1 in DC. In home runs tonight, we take a look at our Morongo Casino Resort and Spa slow-mo cam going back to his first inning 2-run shot measured in the ballpark at 451 up into the third deck. International Spark. Home runs from Revere and Worth since then, both solo shots, counting for all the national scoring in a 4-1 game as we go to the bottom of the 6th. So Harper leads off this inning against Bud Norris and takes ball 1. He struck out his second time up. That's one of 8 Ks for Norris, who outside of the home runs has been sharp. Those home runs biting him, a rare thing for him. Only allowed 7 all season coming into this outing, where he's given up 3. He delivers 1-0. Harper looks at ball 2. Former Astro, former Oriole, former Padre, former Brave. 3-0. Man, the Giants got 5 in the top of the 4th inning in Boston. That's an 8-5 game now with the Red Sox in front. Strike 1 on Harper.
This was the same count that Harper hit that home run off of Bud Norris, and the same similar type pitches got him 3-0 through an off-speed pitch to get 3-1, and then came at him with a fastball.
Low, and he's walked Harper to begin the 6th, his first free pass tonight. Only 87 pitches, a chance for Norris to get into the late innings of this game. But facing the teeth of this lineup now, Wilson Ramos. We talked about his LASIK surgery and how big of a deal that was for his turnaround this season. There's another factor, though, that was equally important for him. For the first time in his career, he stayed in the United States during the offseason for his workout program. That's instead of going home to Venezuela. The reason he was able to do it was the Nationals front office found a way to get his family visitors visas to come spend the offseason with him in Florida, where he had more specialized offseason training, got in the best shape of his life. Everybody says that at spring training, right? They come in best shape of their life. But in the case of Ramos, it's proven to be true.
Well, not all facilities and not all coaches are created equal. A lot of times when you're going home and you're not going to be around the staff that you're used to during the regular season, there's a communication between the workout club and the staff there, or who you're going to hire in the offseason, and the organizational staff to kind of guide you through the workouts. But it's a lot more specific when your own organization is administering the workout.
A lot of times you're on your own. You're on your own to go get yourself prepared for the season.
You got your exit meeting where they tell you what they want you to work on through the offseason. But yeah, you're on your own as far as trying to accomplish that, and maybe even add in some of the things you want to take care of.
He's picked a good year to have a good year. Free agent at the end of this season. He's admitted that's part of his motivation. Fly ball down the right field line. Long run, Van Slyke into the corner. Leaps at the wall. Can't get it. It's a fair ball. Harper running around third. Here's the relay to the plate. It's not in time, and it's an RBI double for Wilson Ramos.
Almost thought maybe when he hit this, he got it for a home run. He took a little bit of a pose. See that right there? I think that's why he only gets the second. It's more than a little bit of a pose.
Yeah, he thought he got it. And it was pretty close to going out. It looks like if it was just a couple inches to the left, it would have gone over the fence. That was the higher part of the wall. And Bryce Harper wasn't assuming that was going out. He was reading it, and gets a great jump to score all the way from first.
And that's going to do it, it looks like, for Bud Norris, who had a stretch where he retired, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10 in a row before those back-to-back home runs in the 5th, and he gives up one more here in the 6th. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. Well, Bud Norris was cruising along, had retired the first 2 in the 5th. Pitch count was manageable, was looking like he was going to get deep into this game, but it unraveled on him here in the 5th and in the 6th. And Dave Roberts hands it to Lewis Coleman. Anthony Rendon swings and misses. Strike 1. We check in with Alana Rizzo.
Dodger bullpen, one arm short, if you will. They've been playing with an 8-man bullpen for a better part of the season. You see right-hander Lewis Coleman on the hill. Chris Hatcher actually placed on the 15-day disabled list today, guys, with an oblique issue on his left side. Dave Roberts not saying whether or not it was the same one that he dealt with last year. Missed 48 games last season with that oblique issue, so now they have 7 guys in the pen, 3 left-handers and 4 right-handers, including Lewis Coleman.
22nd player, Alana, to go on the disabled list this season for the Dodgers. That's the most in baseball yet. 11 games above 500.
And they have really battled through a lot of different things. And Chris Hatcher, there must have been something wrong yesterday. He did not throw the ball well at all. And he said when he walked off the mound, he was wincing in pain. They need to get that taken care of also.
Coleman tasked with trying to keep it right here at 5-1. Ramos at second, nobody out. And Coleman to Rendon with a 1-2 pitch in just a moment. First, Grandal will go out to have a word. One more in this series tomorrow. 9 o'clock back in Los Angeles. Julio Urias, Steven Strasburg, who is 13-0 with a 2.51. The Dodgers are on to St. Louis for 3 beginning on Friday. They return home Tuesday to take on the Rays. Rendon yanks one off the end of the barrel. Puig runs under it and makes the play. Ramos holds on at second on a fly ball to center.
Yasiel's arm right there really held Ramos at second base. Ramos was thinking for sure I can make it, but as he's looking back out there to left center, seeing Yasiel under it, he knows that cannon.
So with 1 out, it's Trey Turner. And his second stint in the majors this year. He came up in early June when Ryan Zimmerman went on the paternity list for a few days. Up again July 10th with Zimmerman on the disabled list. Padres took Trey Turner 13th overall just 2 years ago. He was traded to Washington prior to last season, but because of an odd rule in Major League Baseball that keeps teams from trading players within 1 calendar year of the day they were drafted, even though everybody knew he was the player to be named later headed to Washington, he spent spring training with San Diego and started this season in San Diego's system, even though he knew when June rolled around he'd be a National. They have since changed that rule, and now you can deal players the day after the World Series that have been drafted that summer. Keeps from some awkward times. Turner pulls a base hit down the left field line that'll score Ramos. And it gets by Howie Kendrick. Turner's on his way to third. That's a triple. Either a triple or a double with an error on Kendrick. Washington leads 6-1.
Turner at the plate and Turner on the base paths can fly. There's not a lot of guys that would even sniff a triple, no matter how they grade this down there for Howie. And when that guy turns on the Jets, he can get around the bases.
That's going to be a straight triple.
Yeah, he is just flat
that's
out
just
running.
Guys that fast are really fun to watch run the bases. And we're so high up here. It's the view we have, and just watching them get around there.
And it is a straight triple. There was no misplay by Kendrick. Infield comes in. Danny Espinosa looks at a ball. Two in the first, two in the fifth, two in the sixth for Washington. Both those runs charged to Bud Norris. Interesting, Turner and Espinosa batting back-to-back in the order. Turner's the guy everyone said would supplant Espinosa in this lineup in shortstop. They've had to find room elsewhere to get Turner in because Espinosa's been so good this year. Tonight it's at second base for Turner. They also had him working in the outfield while he was in AAA. As Washington looks toward the deadline, there's really not many spots with much room for upgrading. Many weaknesses on this team. Although center field is a spot that's been disappointing for him. And Revere not nearly the guy that he's been in previous seasons that they were counting on when they acquired him. And that's why Turner has started to work out there.
You don't see that very often. An actual pickoff to third. With the infield in, Justin Turner can be right there near the bag, and he and Lewis Coleman can have a sign where there's a timing play there.
One and two.
Ball girl down there on the right field line wanted no part of that bullet.
I don't blame her.
Smart.
It was smart to get out of the way from that one.
That one.
That was rocking.
And the way you never know how it's going to carry him off that wall.
Exactly.
Clear the area.
And that gets Espinosa, who will take first, and they're at the corners with one gone. For tonight for Gio Gonzalez, will pitch into the seventh inning of this game. Or will he?
Calling him back.
You surprised?
Really nice job, Gio. Really nice job.
Well, they're really getting him up the tunnel to boost his confidence. He has struggled, and so he's got a 6-1 lead. They got a chance to get some more runs right here. Dusty's got a chance to get back in this series. Dodgers winning the first game. He's got Strasburg on the mound tomorrow, and he's expecting him to go pretty deep so he can go to his bullpen if he needs to.
They'll pinch hit with old friend Clint Robinson. Handful of games with the Dodgers 2 years ago. Here's Luis Avilan warming. Washington's been one of the best pinch hitting teams in baseball this year. Coleman just out of sync so far in this outing. Grandal goes out there, and Dave Roberts actually coming out as well.
Dusty Baker took a little time to get his pinch hitter up there, and Dave Roberts then had some time to get his bullpen active. And right here, I think he's stalling until he can make a move. Yeah.
And so here comes Luis Avilan in a 6-1 game. Nationals at the corners trying to widen this lead. The left-hander Avilan with the left-handed pinch hitter Clinton Robinson at the plate. This is Avilan's 7th game and his 4th stint with the Dodgers this year.
He's thrown the ball pretty well when he's come up here. Really disappointed when he didn't make the team out of spring training, but has continued to press on. And he's thrown the ball well in AAA. The results up here have not been good, but he has thrown the ball fine.
Let's see if Avilan can keep it at 6-1. Third Dodger pitcher of the day on for Coleman to replace Norris. Starts it with a strike. Avilan, a former Atlanta Brave. Came over at the deadline last year along with Alex Wood. Part of a 13-player deal. 1-1. Debuted back in 2012. And over his first 2 seasons, he was one of the top left-handed relievers in the sport. 2012 and 13. And a 169, was 6-0 over those 2 years. But in 2014 and 2015, that ERA above 4. Time split between the Braves and the Dodgers. They've got him picked off at first. They get him in a rundown. Now here comes the runner to the plate, and he's safe. Turner just so fast, and it's 7-1.
Gets him picked off here. You got Charlie Culberson going, and once he gets him going, he peaks. Turner so fast, recognizes how hard Charlie was running him back. And when he turned his head, he says, okay, here's my moment, because he's going to have to spin to throw. And that's when he just takes off and utilizes that great speed of his.
Orange charge Lewis Coleman. Espinosa takes second. And Avilander Robinson now with a 2-1 pitch. Off a breaking ball to stay alive. Former Kansas City Royal farmhand. All those great young players coming up through that system with Hosmer and Moustakas. He was on the team with those guys in Double-A a few years back. And it wasn't Hosmer and Moustakas who stole the show. It was Clint Robinson, who won a Double-A Triple Crown in the Texas League on the same team as Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas. Back up the middle. Culberson at short. 2 gone. The third goes Espinosa. Get back to the top of the order. Time now for the top tier play, brought to you by Arco. It's back to the last inning. Ben Revere hits his second home run of the season, which matches his career high. And then it was Jason Worth following him. Back-to-back shots against Bud Norris after he had retired 12 in a row.
Ben Revere really changed this game. That was going to be a quick inning for Bud Norris.
It was still 2-1 at that point.
You got to pop up to right field, and he struck out Gio Gonzalez, and all of a sudden the leadoff hitter's up there, and 3-2 pitch he's just challenging him with. Threw it down the middle, and Revere planted it up there in right field bleachers.
Center field where Revere plays, and the leadoff spot where Revere hits. Nationals have gotten the worst production in the majors out of those 2 spots. Counting on him bouncing back to his career norms. He's a career .295 hitter. He's only had 1 season below .290. That was as a rookie 7 years ago. First with the Twins, then with the Phillies, then with the Blue Jays, and now with the Nationals. Foul ground at third. Justin Turner has room, but can't get it. He's run up that sidewall.
Well, Justin Turner took a last peek at the wall. He didn't really know how close he was, and that last peek is what the reason why he missed it. You see him there, but he actually took one peek right before he tried to find the ball again. And that took him out of his rhythm with steps, and also him being able to get underneath the ball and catch it.
And now Revere trying to make Turner and the Dodgers pay with a man at 3rd and 2 gone. This painfully long 6th inning. And Avilan gets him. Nationals widen the lead to 7-1 with a 3-run 6th. Team photographer John Suhu captured some events after the game last night. We were lucky to finish this thing when we did. It started pouring rain and it was hailing when the buses were rolling out. Alana, it was nasty.
It was nasty. The 4 of us were on the bus on the way from the ballpark to the hotel, and it sounded like a bunch of people were throwing rocks at the bus or with machine guns. Unfortunately, because of the hail, John Suhu, in his 31st year as the Dodger team photographer, and in this case, iPhone videographer, took this picture of the dugout. And you guys can see down by the batting cage as well. Everything was flooded. Today, A.J. Ellis was in the cage. I said, is it soggy? He said, it is absolutely soaked. And this happened pretty much right after the game ended.
Scott Van Slyke leads off the inning against Felipe Rivero and takes a ball. It was nasty. I mean, the hail was quarter-sized.
It was big. It was Texas-sized hail in Washington, D.C.
Rivero replacing Gio Gonzalez, who goes 6 innings, his best start in a long time. Rivero's falling behind Van Slyke 2-0.
The body shops in town had a windfall.
Yeah.
They're going to be collecting a lot of insurance money.
There's a 2-0. It's like behind a fastball that hits 96 for strike 1.
Rivero comes at you with a mid-90s average fastball. Averages 95 miles an hour, get up to 99 miles an hour. He's got a changeup and a slider.
See what he goes with on 2-1. The fastball. There it is, a 97. Dodgers saw a futures game guy last night. Reynaldo Lopez started for the Nationals. Rivero was the futures game 4 years ago while he was a Rays farmhand. He was traded to the Nationals 2 years ago in exchange for Nathan Carnes, who spent some time in Tampa Bay but is now in Seattle.
Well, Rivero ranked second among Major League left-handed relievers in average fastball velocity, behind Aroldis Chapman.
And he's probably way behind.
You got, he's 95.3, Rivero. Aroldis Chapman is 99.6.
Jeez. That's like digs it out of there towards right center. Harper. There are plenty of rumors that Aroldis Chapman could arrive here in Washington with the previous connections with Dusty Baker, his old manager in Cincinnati. And everybody would like a nice late innings piece like that.
Averaging 99.
Yeah.
Hit 105.
Average.
Saw that.
Average.
Hit 105 the other day. The fastest ball ever timed since they were taking readings on it.
105. What does that even look like as a hitter?
Fast.
Yeah.
That was the sound effect they do
It
here.
looks like.
I don't know if LASIK's going to help.
Right. Puig's 1 for 2. Hammered a double his last time. 2. Now what the Yankees decide to do is a really big domino in this trade season. Are the Yankees sellers? Do the Yankees sell 1 or 2 pieces? Do they go for it? In this era of 2 wild cards, more and more teams think that they're in it deeper and deeper into the season. And you get not just more parity as you approach the postseason, but you get more parity as you approach the trade deadline.
The Yankees are 6.5 behind Baltimore, and they are 5.5 out of the wild card. Boston, Toronto right now, if the season ended, would be the wild cards.
Speaking of Boston, Giants have cut it to 8-7 in the 5th inning. Rivera to Puig with an 0-2, and he popped him up. Espinosa has it for out number 2. The Yankees have Chapman, they have Andrew Miller at the back end, both potential pieces to move. Carlos Beltran has had a resurgence this season, has been rumored to be on the move. He's in the final season of his contract. Even Brian McCann, if they go in an all-out sale, could be a nice piece for somebody as a catcher. But will the Yankees have a sell-off? Word is that the front office is split at this point, what route they go. Grandal takes ball 1. But they're the Yankees. The Yankees can't be sellers, can they? And that's the whole thing.
I don't really think they can be sellers.
Yeah.
And then if you let those pieces go, if you weren't planning on re-signing a Beltran, you know, I would think you're going to try and sign Chapman. I would think you're going to try and keep Andrew Miller if you want a good bullpen. I don't know.
Have Miller under control for another couple of seasons. Chapman a free agent at the end of this year. Yeah, the farm system not great outside of a few players at the upper levels in New York. Brett Gardner's another guy on that roster that has been rumored in some trade talks. Got some starting pitchers as well that have had their names mentioned. Michael Pineda, former Dodger, and Nathan Eovaldi.
Mark Teixeira and Alex Rodriguez, but no one would probably take them.
Yeah.
But those guys are people the Yankees are going to have to make decisions on.
Grandal with a lazy fly to right. The Dodgers go 1-2-3 in the 7th. Stretch time in DC and all nationals so far tonight.
flooded at Dodger Stadium for the first time since 2013. Don't miss the highly anticipated matchup beginning Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Don't wait, buy your tickets today. Visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
8-7, Red Sox in front of the Giants right now. Red Sox led that game 8-0 after a few innings, but the Giants have clawed back into it, bottom of the 5th. Here at 7-1 Washington. Plenty of Dodger blue in the building. A couple of nice crowds. It was a sellout last night. It's a little more than 34,000 tonight. Nationals Park, Washington, D.C. Relocated here from Montreal in 2005. Organization that has never won a postseason series. 3 trips, 1981, 2012, 2014. First 2 division titles in franchise history in 12 and 14, but they lost the NLDS both years. Last year, they were the favorite coming into the season to win the whole thing, but then they dealt with injury problems much of the year. And despite having a record of 10 above 500 in mid-July, they wound up missing the postseason by 7 games. Went 34 and 40 down the stretch. Jason Worth, who leads off this inning, was one of the guys that dealt with injuries all year.
They signed Max Scherzer is when all the hype started. The signal they're going for everything.
Corresponded with same era as Strasburg and Harper, both being drafted by the team and making their debuts. Avilan to Worth, 1-1. Strike 2. So far this year, 13 and 6 since a 7-game losing streak has him at 56 and 38, first place in the East. They've been in first all but 4 days this season in early May, where they were back by a half game behind the Mets. Avilan deals 2-2 and gets Worth over the outside corner.
They thought the ball was outside, borderline low, borderline outside. Always gets both of them. Looks like Osmani did a nice job not moving his glove too far. The bulk of his glove was on the plate, but where he caught it might have been just barely off.
So 1 gone for Murphy, who deserves a good chunk of the credit for the season the Nationals are having. 31 years old in his 8th major league season, the first 7 spent with the New York Mets. The Mets decided to go get Neil Walker from the Pirates instead of re-signing Murphy. And boy, has he made them regret that, not just with what he's done in the big picture, but against the Mets. In 13 games against his former team, he's hit 7 homers and knocked in 21. How do you like me now?
That is payback. Pretty good pitching staff to do that off of also.
He's the 2nd player in the last half-century to lead the majors in batting average at the All-Star break in his first year with a new team. Pudge Rodriguez, the other, when he went from the Marlins to the Tigers in 04. Two and 1. Howell loosening. What's amazing with Murphy is that he's changed the approach and gone from being a line drive guy to a power guy who's got 18 homers, but He's still leading the majors in batting average by a wide chunk at above 350. Sometimes you see guys sacrifice that average and the on-base percentage to add power. He's added power and the average has gone up. Opposite field drive to left center. Kendrick is under this one. So with 2 gone in the 7, Bryce Harper comes up. He's clubbed his 20th home run of the season tonight. He's also walked. Nationals getting 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 5th, and 3 in the 6th. 6 of the 7 runs charged to Bud Norris. The Nationals are where they are, 18 games above 500, a game off of the best record of the National League. And they've had the season from Harper that they've had where he's only hitting .248. On 2-0, he takes strike 1.
They keep going, they keep winning, they get a spot in the October dance. They're just going to worry about trying to get this guy hot at the right time. He's the type of player that could carry you through a playoff series.
Hard to believe Bryce Harper is only 23. Debuted when he was 19 against the Dodgers back in 2012. And on 3-1, he swings out of his shoes for strike 2.
We're talking about these Washington Nationals as we have another look at Bryce Harper swinging and missing that ball. We're talking about just getting there to October and getting hot at the right time. They're also talking about they start learning to produce runs without relying on the home run. We talked about they've already hit 3 today, so they relied on a lot on that to score their runs.
And we have seen in the past teams that rely on home runs in the playoffs don't usually go deep because they run into the 3 top pitchers as far as the starters, and usually only the 3 bullpen pieces that are the top pieces in bullpens. Saw that with the Yankees in the past. Relied on over 50% of their runs from home runs.
Avilan works a 1-2-3 7th inning, getting Harper swinging. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. Look way down there to the plate. That's Maury Wills batting in the 1962 All-Star Game here in D.C. in his hometown. He won the very first All-Star Game MVP that year. Also won the National League MVP. Stole a Major League record 104 bases that year. Charlie Culberson leads off this inning and takes ball one. All-Star games coming back here in a couple of seasons. The 1962 year, Wills played 165 games. One and one on Culberson.
Maury with his bunting station in spring training, right there just outside the food room, and all the players gather there, but the pitchers are there most of the time.
Bounce to second for Trey Turner. Dodgers have not had a base runner since Puig's doubled in the fourth. They have only 3 hits total tonight. Zach Walters comes to the dish. Walters was called up from AAA on Saturday. Started this season in the Indians organization. And the Dodgers signed him in April. Facing Felipe Rivero with 1 gone and the bases empty. Facing the team that he made his Major League debut with back in 2013. Played in 9 games with Washington. Split time in 2014 between here and Cleveland. Walters fouls it off, 1-1. High school in Las Vegas, but grew up in Wyoming. 26 years old now and has some pretty darn impressive numbers in his limited big league time. 10 home runs in 84 career Major League games. 1-2. Rivero touches 98 this time. Two and two.
Rivero looks like Aroldis Chapman, kind of a mini-me. A few miles an hour off. A lot of legs there to leverage with.
Walters down on strikes, 2 away.
88-mile-an-hour changeup off the 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Some of these young pitchers, it just seems like their stuff is unfair.
And look at what he goes to with 2 strikes. It's not necessarily always just a fastball, and it's not just the changeup. He'll throw a changeup, slider. He'll throw it all at you. It just tells me that as a hitter, you're going, okay, I know I have to worry about 99. And you're telling me then when I get in a certain situation to put me away, I got to worry about all 3 of his pitches.
Exactly.
2-0 on Howie Kendrick. His last chance, perhaps, to extend his Major League best 11-game hitting streak. High drive to center. Revere goes back on it, still on the move, and it's off the wall. And the hitting streak is 12 games with a ringing double from Howie Kendrick.
Well, Howie Kendrick takes a beautiful swing on this fastball, just on the outer half, just a little bit, stays on it, If he tries to pull off of that ball, a lot of times when you're saying, okay, 99, I really got to speed up to try to catch up to this fastball, he doesn't. He stays on it. It's just an outer way. We know his strength is to right field, but he stays on it and drives it perfectly to center field.
So it keeps the inning alive for Chris Taylor. See if the Dodgers can add a run or two here, give themselves a chance in the ninth as Taylor takes a ball. Chris hitless in 3 ABs tonight, all 3 of those against Gio Gonzalez, who's in position to get the win in this game. But Norris in position to lose it. He'd fall to 0-3 against Washington this year. 1-1. Urias Strasburg tomorrow, 9 a.m. Los Angeles, noon start time here in Washington. And the Dodgers hit the road again, go to St. Louis on their way back to Los Angeles to start a homestand against Tampa Bay next Tuesday. 2-1.
You'd like to get a run here, maybe a few, even if you can't catch up and win. With Strasburg looming tomorrow, you want to get the offense feeling like it's in a good vibe. Only 4 hits at this point in the game. Coming through the middle of the order right here with Justin Turner and Adrian Gonzalez. Those guys will be in the lineup tomorrow.
Taylor hits a ball on the line, but right at Revere, and the inning is over. Howie Kendrick extends his hitting streak to 12 games, but the Dodgers still down 7-1. Is the #1 live streaming sports service, delivering everything you've come to expect and more. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices, and it includes a subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Zach Walters stays in the game at first. And J.P. Howell comes on to pitch, his 37th game this season. Face 5, 6, and 7 in the Nationals order.
JP has been in a groove, getting the job done. Got his ERA back to where he can actually look at the scoreboard. Early in the season, he didn't want to see any of it. Got off to such a rocky start.
With 11 consecutive scoreless outings, strike one on Ramos. First-time All-Stars Wilson Ramos. He flew his wife and his daughter from Venezuela to San Diego for the All-Star game. But his wife surprised him by flying his parents and his grandmother as well. They were there to greet him when he got to San Diego. A little bit extra emotional for him. His grandfather, who he says taught him the game of baseball, passed away this April. A leave of absence from the team to go be with his family for the funeral. And while he was down in Venezuela for the funeral, promised his grandma that he was going to have a special season in his grandfather's memory. As he held up his end of that bargain. Number 2 in the National League entering this game, hitting above .330.
Keeps this up, he's going to have a Lasix commercial.
Yeah. Those are the kinds of pitches he used to have a hard time laying off of, reading the spin on. Not the case after the surgery. There you go. He even got his lines for him for the commercial.
Do you suffer from hitting a curveball? Can you pick up the spin?
I couldn't either.
Get Lasix. And be a big league hitter like me.
About to have a nice payday this offseason.
How many people are going, that's why I couldn't hit?
Yeah, I could have been a big leaguer.
That's why.
It's right up there with the myth of get Tommy John, you'll throw harder.
My gosh. That's a bad myth.
Howell just misses, and the count is full on Ramos. The Nationals have been able to survive the down years from Harper and from Zimmerman, largely because of what they've gotten from Murphy and Ramos. 1-2 in the National League in batting average. Only one time in the last 60 years have teammates finished the season 1-2 in the NL batting race. Larry Walker, Todd Helton on the Rockies in 2001.
Think about that. You put an asterisk near that one with home field being Colorado.
Right. Hard hit to left center. Kendrick moves over and makes the play. Nice play by Howie Kendrick, who's made left field home this season.
He gave a look to Yasiel Puig in center field, almost like he lost it a little bit in the lights, but still able to stay with that ball and make a fine play. He's kind of smiling a little bit, but he looked at Yasiel, pointed to his eyes, and then pointed up. See? Right there.
Left fielders and right fielders get a little help from their center fielder when a ball's hit right at him and you can't tell, do I go in, go back, and you hear the yell. Yasiel playing out there in center field with a little more responsibility to help his mates. He's used to getting help in right field. A guy like Jock Peterson or Scott Van Slyke or Trace Thompson.
High fly ball, deep left field, a no doubt shot for Anthony Rendon. The 4th home run tonight for Washington.
That'll make you feel better. Anthony Rendon didn't play yesterday because he was feeling under the weather, and then you get a ball, you hit a ball like this that's just a no-doubter. He hits it, puts his head down, he knows he's got it, and just started running.
This could be a very dangerous lineup if Ben Revere all of a sudden finds his form and you got speed and average at the top, then Jason Worth finds his swing and Bryce Harper comes out of his slump. This is a long and powerful group.
Trey Turner, the batter. And Howell pumps him a 1-0 pitch. 2-0.
Their lineup of starting pitchers as they get to the playoffs. Max Scherzer and Strasburg and Tanner Roark and then Gio Gonzalez. They could go 4 deep if they wanted to. Tanner Roark doesn't have the resume the other 3 do, but he has been throwing the ball just as consistently and just as well.
Only the Cubs have a better starting rotation as far as earned run average. Turner into a backhand for Justin Turner. His long throw scooped out of there by Zach Walters. Nice job all around on a 5-3 putout.
Justin Turner, first of all, does a good job just making the play here, but he knows he has to get rid of it quick because of the speed of Turner. And then Walters, we haven't seen play first over there, but he plays everywhere. Plays all the positions, every infield position. Does a nice job over there at first base picking that.
That was the last position that he picked up. And they finally said, go grab a first base glove and see if you can do it over there. That's a pretty fine pick for a guy that's just learning that position.
Danny Espinosa takes ball 1. You're talking about this Washington rotation and the guys that can line up in the postseason. That does not include Gio Gonzalez, who historically has been really good. He's a guy that finished top 3 in the Cy Young just a few years ago.
Well, if they decided to go with just 3 and Gio was slipped in there, then you could put Tanner Roark in the bullpen. But they can go 4 deep if they want.
Look at Gio's line today. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. And this one, a day like today, has to boost his confidence.
It's Joe Ross there. Tyson Ross, who pitches for the San Diego Padres. This is his little brother. He's on the disabled list right now, but he's having a good year. Only 22 years old. Beg your pardon, Joe Ross, 23 years old. He came over in the same deal that brought Trey Turner from San Diego. What a steal. All Washington had to send away was Steven Souza Jr. down to Tampa Bay. Padres got Will Myers in that deal. Turned out to be a good one for them. Myers, an all-star, regaining some of that form that made him a Rookie of the Year a few years back. Bringing 2 on Espinosa. Howell gets Espinosa, and the inning comes to a close. But another home run, 4th of the night for the Nationals. This one from Anthony Rendon, and it's 8-1 as we go to the 9th.
it's the Nissan Access Sportsnet Dodgers post-game show. John Hartung, Jerry Hairston Jr., Ned Colletti break down this one's. Dodgers certainly the victim of the long ball this evening, but Norris serving up 3 will break down his effort. I'll be in the clubhouse talking to Dave Roberts and the players about the second game of the series, guys.
All right, Alana, and then a quick turnaround to the finale tomorrow, which will be at noon. Strasburg and Urias. Major league debut for Koda Glover, and if you had told him that he'd make that debut this season back in spring training, he might have told you that you were crazy. Started this season in Single A, promoted to Double A, then to Triple A, now to the majors. He was just drafted last year out of Oklahoma State.
You rarely see this, and you really see it more often, though, now, this year. But it is kind of unheard of to make that many moves. And you usually don't move your prospects like that because you have to get an apartment at every place. You have to repack and get up, and you don't want to keep turning them around. Keep them with the same coaches so they can learn. 98 miles an hour is not a lot to learn.
I was like, that's going to move you up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you can control that and throw 98. And he recorded 52 strikeouts in 45 innings down in the minor leagues. He only had 14 walks.
How did this guy fall to the 8th round?
I don't know. Already, especially out of college.
Yeah. Justin Turner flies one to right. Bryce Harper is there.
And I say that because of out of college. Usually you can see a high schooler who they assume, oh, he's going to go to college for sure.
Yeah,
and they pass on him because they don't want to waste a pick. So they assume the player's going to go there.
The whole signability issue. There was none with him, though.
So he took his first pitch out of play for a strike. Now he gets his first out. I thought they'd take that out of play, and if he ends up striking somebody out, they take that ball out of play. He could go home with 3 balls from 1 inning.
It's a good night. Andrew Toles. It's it back to him. Koda Glover getting involved in the big league action right away. 2 gone in the 9th. He's the second player to debut from the 2015 draft class. Carson Fulmer of the Chicago White Sox made his major league debut just a few days back. Out of Vanderbilt. Now it's Glover out of Oklahoma State.
This is what Dusty likes, too. He's got an 8-1 ball game. Perfect time to put him in there. You can relax, go out there and just pitch your game.
And Slyke into left field, and Jason Worth is there. Koda Glover needs 4 pitches to get a 1-2-3 big league debut. And the Nationals even this series at a game apiece with a 4-home run night. 8-1 over the Dodgers as they beat Bud Norris, and Gio Gonzalez gets back on track with an impressive 6 innings. Our Lexus play of the game. Bryce Harper's long home run started the scoring back in the first. They measured it at 451. There's a good chance it was significantly longer than that for his 20th of the season. They got homers from Revere and from Worth and then from Rendon and Cruz to even the